voice is all chalky and shit. Alright, now I'm about to start. During the night, Zack gets... Oh my god. During the night, Zack makes the decision to return to Midgar, but is constantly being hunted by more and more men searching for them both. During the night, Zack makes the decision to return to Midgar, but is constantly being hunted by more men searching for them both. While Zack is left pondering his thoughts on what to do, he is welcomed to a friend, Cissnei, who does not seem excited to see him. Cissnei then is concerned of what they had done to him and Cloud. Cissnei then is concerned of what they had done to him in that lab. Cissnei is then concerned of what they had done to him in that lab. It is very apparent that Cissnei was ordered by the Shinra army to dispose of Zack on sight, which she shows some internal struggle to fight a close friend. Zack disarms her, warning her next time he'll have to do it, then leaving to find another way out. Zack disarms her, warning her next time he'll have to do it, leaving to find another way out. Let's try that again. Zack disarms her, warning her next time he'll have to do it, leaving to find another way out. Zack then gets back to Cloud, where Cissnei tracks him back to see Cloud is there as well and allows Zack to freely leave, also providing him another vehicle to leave in. Zack then gets back to Cloud's location where Cissnei tracks him back to see Cloud is there as well. She allows Zack to freely leave, also providing him a vehicle to leave. While Zack is leaving with Cloud on the bike provided by the help of Cissnei, he is stopped by Genesis and his copies. Genesis, interested in the new test experiment Zack has became. Genesis instructs one of his clones to eat a piece of his hair. The clone then shows signs of pain and mutates into another form. After Zack disposes of the monster, he rides back on the highway, still concerned on what he should do. Later, Zack then sees... As we travel, Zack later notices he is at the location of his hometown. Zack then goes to see how his parents are doing, but is stopped by Cissnei, who tells Zack that him coming of home... Zack then goes to see how his parents are doing, then is stopped by Cissnei, who tells Zack his choice of coming home was careless. Cissnei relays to Zack information of Angeal, which she had never came to be a surprise to him, as he had believed that Angeal was the one who had freed him from the base. Cissnei then relieves Zack of his worries of his parents and informs him that they are fine. After Zack's request for Cissnei to keep his family company, he then sees Angeal, who keeps on disappearing from him. While Zack is chasing after Angeal, he is stopped by Genesis copies, who are requesting the S cells. Suddenly, Hollander, who is mutated as badly as Genesis, stops Zack, and who isn't the only one who has implanted with the S cells. Suddenly, Hollander, who is mutated as bad as Genesis, stops Zack and knows he isn't the only one who was implanted with the S cells. Hollander leaves with a few copies to fetch Cloud, and Genesis is left with Zack. Genesis stalls Zack for... Oh my god. Genesis stalls Zack, then immediately retreats, leaving Hollander with a head start. Zack rushes to Cloud location where he sees Hollander attempting to take Cloud. As Zack is attempting to stop Hollander, Angio arrives and attempts to help Zack. Zack battle. Oh my god. Zack battles Hollander, and I have to say this boss fight was pretty fun, due to him being able to summon other enemies. You haven't really came across an enemy or a boss fight that was like this, where they were able to summon other people, but overall it was a pretty easy fight. After Hollander is defeated, Zack makes it back to Cloud's location and speaks to Angio. It is revealed that it really isn't Angio, and it is in fact the Director Lazard who was missing. Lazard, who is now an Angio copy, questions... Oh. It is revealed that he isn't Angio, and he is in fact Director Lazard, who was transformed into an Angio copy. Zack questions Lazard for why he had assisted Hollander out of Junon, to which he answers he needed Hollander to extract revenge, but he was used out to be turned into an Angio copy in the end. Once Lazard and Zack speak on how they must stop Genesis from achieving... Oh my god. Once Lazard and Zack speak on how they must stop Genesis from achieving his goal, they both realize a hint to where he may be. When Zack makes his way to Benora, he has Lazard to watch over Cloud. When Zack makes his way to Benora, he has Lazard watch over Cloud while he investigates the area. Zack infiltrates the cave to where he notices trophies awarded to Genesis from his youth. From what Zack is seeing, Genesis had always idolized Sephiroth. While Zack infiltrates the cave, he notices trophies awarded to Genesis from his youth, showing Genesis had always idolized Sephiroth, even as a kid. What I love about Zack is he may not be seen from the common... What I love about Zack that may not be seen from the common viewer is this specific dialogue from Zack to Genesis. Is there anything I can do to save him? He isn't thinking of extracting revenge or sees Genesis as a lost cause. He knows that deep down there is someone in there, a human, that was violated from the Shinra army and promised to be a hero, but was thrown to the side and discarded so another could take its place. Zack really... Zack, to me, has grown up and a very mature man, and is already different from when we had met him in the first mission with Angio. He isn't rushing to shoot now and ask questions ever. He has a greater respect and honor to how he uses the sword, and that was entrusted to him. He has a greater respect and honor to how he uses the sword that was entrusted to him from his master. And even though his enemies are... No, I should just redo that. He has a greater respect and honor to how he uses the sword that was entrusted to him, and still has lingering hope that even to his enemies, they could still see the light. After a fetch quest to open the main door, Zack enters Genesis' domain, who has seemingly have taken on the full metal... Oh no. After a fetch quest to open the main door, Zack enters Genesis' domain, who seemingly has taken on the full DMC look. Zack begs Genesis to let him help, but Genesis isn't listening to reason, forcing Zack to engage into battle. Once Genesis merges with the Lifestream, he has become a huge mecha that is honestly, in my opinion, the second best boss fight to me in the entire game. Second to Sephiroth. Genesis, who is now healed from his oh my god. Genesis, who is now healed from his de- oh, degradation. Genesis, who is now healed from his degradation, requests Zack to battle him once more, but Zack remains victorious. Zack carries Genesis' body to Clouds and Lazard's location when Lazard tells Zack that they were attacked while he was away, but barely made it out of it, thanks to the help of an Angeal copy from before. Shortly after, Lazard succumbs to his injuries and dies afterwards. This scene broke me down so hard that I still had memories from it when I was playing as a kid. I remember from my youth trying to explain to my mother the story of what was going on, but she never was able to fully understand what it was I was talking about. Zack sees a letter that was left behind from the Angeal copy, and it was from Aerith, where she had states that it has been 4 years since they have spoke. We cut to Cicene, who is informed by Sung that the army is en route onto Zack's location, and he wants to save her. We cut to Cicene, who is informed by Sung that the army is en route to Zack's location, and he wants her to save Zack's life. Both Reno and Rude are out carrying Sung's orders, attempting to find Zack. Our heroes manage to hitch a ride from a local residence, then get dropped off to a safe distance. Zack leaves Cloud in a safe space to scout the area when suddenly Zack is spotted by hundreds of Shinra soldiers. Words cannot express how many times I've replayed this game to get a different ending. I've tried every option. I've tried every single turn. I've tried even having other people play it for me in hopes that they could find a way to change Zack's fate. I've tried perfecting it without damage to see if it would change his fate. But let me change this. Words cannot express how many times I've replayed this game to get a different ending. I've tried every option. I've tried every single turn. I've tried even having other people play it in hopes that they could find a way to change Zack's fate. I've tried perfecting it without damage to see if it would change anything, but as I had gotten older, I had realized that my young mind couldn't comprehend loss. It was bitter, and an ugly feeling that I didn't want to accept, and it felt so unfair. I know in the end, it is just the game, and that I may be overly dramatic for the sake of a video, but this was my first time sensing what loss felt like. At the time, I was upset, and I didn't like the ending being so sad, but as I've gotten older, I was able to accept it more, and understand that this was his last stand. Now it may be very apparent to many who know my interests, but it is very familiar to future Gohan's story in Dragon Ball Z. The Future Trunks special will always be my least favorite. And it's not because of anything bad with animation or the story itself. It was due to the fact that it had a very It was due to the fact that I had a very depressing episode to it. The Future Trunks special will always be my least favorite. And it's not because of anything bad in it, exactly. It's mostly due to the part that it had a very depressing ending to it. If you never watched Dragon Ball Z and never knew the outcome of the androids, you'd feel real depressed that Gohan's fate to the androids filled the viewer with so much dread, it felt like there was no hope. You never knew if Trunks got the future he wanted, or if he had gotten strong enough to take them back down. Back to Zack's character, it felt unfair for him to meet the fate that he had had. What about Aerith? What about Cloud? What about his parents? What about the life that he had planned out? I wish I could express how much this game means to me, but I'd be here all day long. The voice acting, the music, the in-game and cinematic cutscenes are truly incredible. I wanted to leave this video with a happy ending. That Zack truly became a hero he had wanted, and he had never changed his warm-hearted nature. I wanted to leave this video with a happy ending. That Zack truly became a hero. He had never changed his warm-hearted nature. He had never changed his warm-hearted nature, even after everything that had happened to him. And if the references to future Gohan can't be any more apparent, Zack bequeathed his will onto Cloud and grants him the Buster Sword, as his master had done to him. Thus, beginning a new protagonist, a new story. Insert Cloud Strife. Thank you guys for watching my review. It took me some time to finally finish it, with me working and needing time to review for my script. If you guys would want me to try more of these kind of videos, I'd be really up for it. I made this more for me, since I'm a huge fan of the series, and this is another line of games that you guys Thank you guys for watching my review. It took me some time to finally finish it, with me working and needing time to review for the script. If you guys would want me to try more of these kinds of videos, I'd be really up for it. I made this more for me since I'm a really huge fan of this series and have always wanted to review this specific game for me. But if there's another line of games that you guys would want me to look into, I'd be more than happy to check it out. Thank you again, and as always, peace.